You'll notice that we're about to start recording. So we welcome Laurie to join us today. There's so much use of video, or at least a lot of talk about it. And this is our opportunity to hear what else we can be doing with video as opposed to major TV productions, which are so popular in Atlanta. So Laurie, please take over.
Thank you so much, Hal. Thanks for inviting me. I know we're on a quick time scale here. So as many of you know, video is awesome and many of you are already using it, but a lot of folks are now doing micro learning. And micro learning allows you to provide bite-sized learning so that people can capture that information very quickly. I'm Laurie Bacopoulos, Laurie B, with founder and CEO of Cobblestone Consulting, and we provide services in the following areas: project management, e-learning, micro-learning, learning management systems, ways that you can actually deliver both online and through mobile devices, and then custom software development. But obviously today I'm going to talk to you more about micro-learning, micro videos, and how they can be very powerful of onboarding folks and learning new processes and technologies within your organization. So today I'm just going to run through some of the stats that are driving why people are moving to e-learning, and many of you have already described some of those. Upskilling is a big reason for e-learning and video production, especially with our Gen Zs coming on the market. What are the benefits of that? And then I have a video that a short micro video that I'd like to share with you all. So why e-learning or why micro videos? Well, as you all know, we have so much going on in our lives, in our work environments, and we need ways that we can use our trainers more wisely, and that could be through developing strategic e-learning and micro video programs, and also you're delivering the same message all over and over again. Instead of having in the past somebody was delivering, maybe many trainers delivering the message, and often it wouldn't be the same message. So you deliver a e-learning or a micro video in your organization, and it's ready and available across the globe. Not only that, as we've seen with the pandemic, so many people are remote now, and how do you get access to those learning bite-sized pieces, and how do you track it? And at the end of the day, there's a lot of shift in the marketplace, and making sure that you can upskill and keep your employees is very important. From the LinkedIn Learning 5th Annual Report, there's some great stats that showed that, now learning development departments are really focusing a lot of their efforts to upskilling and reskilling. The second area was leadership and management. And then the third main area was virtual onboarding. And with the new Gen Z group coming in, they watched 50% more hours per learner of learning content in 2020 versus 2019. And that's a substantial amount. And those folks that really invested in their people and made sure that they had the training necessary, they actually stayed at their job twice as long. So many of these folks on this call, like me, 5 years seems a little like a pretty low amount of time to stay at a company. So it's so important that we invest in our people and upskill, and those people that are invested, then they tend to stay at the organization. And probably many of you know the cost of turnover. So keeping that in mind and keeping employees engaged with training is so important. Upskilling, now we have the opportunity. Many years ago, it was hard to even find budget dollars for training. And if there was a budget shortage, then the training would be the first thing cut. Now I think we're seeing a huge shift in the industry whereby training is required. And again, how do we get that training in bite-sized pieces that people can consume, and also that they can come back and refresh their knowledge later, such that if they're learning a new software, they can come back and quickly access that training so that they can be successful. Many of the business benefits include lower turnover, increased skills in your organization, also reporting and making sure that you can track the trainings that are happening in the organization. Folks that are delivering software in the industry, videos are powerful because you think about your customer service and your customer call volume. The more that your customers and partners have these videos at their fingertips, the less call volume you have and the increased customer service capability. And so that's just my short overview of why we would have micro learning. And again, it is very powerful, not only in the soft skill, lots of people are using it for onboarding. It's also very, very powerful when you're delivering new software and making sure that everyone understands how to use that software, and also related to process improvements. So if you're putting a new process or policy in place, how can you capture those learning objectives and make sure that everyone is strategically aligned and going in that direction? So let me take a few minutes now and actually show you a video. Now, this video was produced with another partner of mine, Match Key Consulting, and Match Key Consulting helps folks with sales training for millennials. So Jennifer and I put together this micro learning. It is only 4 minutes, and you'll get a sense of how you can really portray your message in a short interactive video. So here we go. Can everyone hear that?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Articulating your value proposition by presenting a complete yet concise why me story will allow you to differentiate yourself from others. By the end of this video, you'll be able to tell your story with confidence, which will help you develop deeper business relationships. Researchers have found that a first impression is made in the first 7 seconds after you meet someone. Competition is fierce and time is short. Your why me story is the most powerful way you can convey capabilities, passion, and alignment with another professional. This recap of what makes a why me story meaningful and memorable will be a great reminder of what we discussed in the original training workshop. Your story will need to be tweaked and practiced often so it is relevant and becomes a natural part of the conversation. In this video, we're going to remind you what you learned and practice next steps. There are a few key items that make your story powerful. First, you need to prove that you have the qualifications and can complete the necessary tasks required to move to the next step. Second, your passion for successfully completing the task at hand needs to shine through. You need to show a true desire to do something and to do it well. Finally, it is critical to link your skills and interests to something that leaves a positive impact on the person you are speaking with. Otherwise, why do they care? What's in it for them? A powerful story will include certain characteristics that also make it impactful. Your personality needs to shine through. Show them who you are. Repeating words or phrases used by the other party will prove that you were listening, understood their needs, and can address those needs. Speaking with confidence shows that you are conversing instead of reading from a script. Proving you are qualified to be having this conversation is a deal breaker. Remember the 7 seconds to make a first impression? Be powerful with a few words, so choose those words wisely. When someone is seen as an expert, it elevates them to a higher level than the average qualified person. Can you choose the best why me story?
So this is where you have a little interaction, and you can click on the story, and you're basically looking to select which of these answers are true. So I'm going to go ahead and click here, which tells me that's not correct. So let's try that again. How about this one? Yep, we're on point. So it helps reinforce what exactly you're learning and how you can improve your skills moving forward.
Practicing is critical, so you address the key points naturally and not through memorization. Ways to practice can include speaking in the mirror, in the car while in traffic, or to a friend or coworker who will provide valuable feedback. Since your story will be delivered based on a specific issue, it is important to understand the details of what your story needs to address so you can be perceived as qualified, passionate, and relevant to the situation at hand. Most of the time, you're sharing your why me story with someone who has to make a decision between you or someone else. For further discussion on this topic or any other as it relates to business development and confidence around selling, please contact Jennifer at Matchkey Consulting via email at jennifer@matchkeyconsulting.com or by phone. And to find out how you can have a micro video created for your training courses, please contact Laurie Bacopoulos at Cobblestone Consulting via email at laurieb@cobblestoneconsulting.com.
All right. So that gives you a little insight of how you can put a nice micro learning together to display your learning objectives. And just as a point, that micro video was to help learners. They went through a sales course, which is probably on an e-learning environment, but or an element learning management system. However, for them to keep going back and refreshing their skills and remembering what is the best way to convey a why me story, these little micro videos really help to refresh your memory. So thank you very much. That is my presentation. Does anyone have any questions?
Don, did you want to say something? Because I had a couple questions as well.
I was just going to ask, I mean, do you target all businesses? Are there specific businesses that you're targeting to work with?
Yes, so Don, we work with mid to large size companies that are developing new software, deploying large systems, as well as folks that are looking to improve their soft skill training and onboarding, things of that nature.
Okay, Doug.
Thank you.
So Sean, it was interesting, Laurie, I wasn't clear on the lengths that work. I mean, it's such an ADD world these days. I'm curious, Sean, maybe you have an opinion too, is how long the videos that you use?
So the video that I showed today was more of a soft skill video. So you had to go through a little bit more. That was a 4-minute video. However, if you are sharing, let's say, how to do different things in a software program, Microsoft or a new system, you can have even 30-second to 2-minute videos that just show how do you actually log into a system or add a customer to a system. So it really depends on which direction. Is it a technology focused micro learning, or is it a soft skill micro learning?
Right.
So,
I would say that the videos that we point our customers to on Microsoft's website, it's really in the MicrosoftOffice.com training center, and anybody can access those, and they're very good. And I agree, they're very short. If there are any that are 10 minutes, I'd be surprised. They actually group them together in 2 to 5 minute sections.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
now we're getting somewhere. Thanks, Sean. So somewhere 2 to 5 minutes is it. Mark, you and Hank mentioned that you've used them as well. Any feedback on what's a good length? Because clearly a 4-hour training meeting is not it.
Well, I use it for like keeping up to date with some of my software, and I use the LinkedIn. I can't think of what, Lydia or whatever.
LinkedIn Learning, Mark.
Yeah, the LinkedIn Learning training, and I use it to keep up to date on some of the software as well as learn other software. And it anywhere from 20 minutes to 40 minutes, but it usually is interactive video training. So I'm actually working on a project while I'm being trained. So.
And typically how I use it to learn about features around a product. And what I found is that the different like point of sale solutions, they'll have a million different videos and they'll be, 30 seconds to 2 minutes around one particular feature. So in terms of like an overall learning of the system, maybe not a good application, but trying to learn about a very specific item, those short videos work great.
So Laurie mentioned there's soft skills as well as product knowledge. I'll call it product knowledge or how to use software, like you're saying. So it seems like the softer skills might be a shorter length. Donna, you do a good bit of training. Any observations on how video and lengths, impact what you're doing?
Yeah, video is the way to go on so many levels, which is why I'd love to talk to you more, Laurie. I tend to look at video as a way to be top of mind from a marketing standpoint, and I try to keep them no longer than 2 minutes. For example, when someone says, hey, you need to meet Mark McKenzie, he is the mayor of networking, I would send a video before we actually meet. And the name of the video is Take a Peek Before We Meet. And it goes into what I do, how I can help, and what you want to walk away with. So it's really very structured with the idea of I'll show you mine if you show me yours. And it's done very professionally and it's an evergreen video. So I love the idea of having evergreen videos that you build once, use over and over again. And my engine is nurturing, marketing, and top of mind. And I also do training videos, which is a separate lane. But the thing that really works well for me is to create videos that have short-term impact. Bottom line answer, Hal, no more than 1 to 2 minutes. And I'm learning that 1 minute these days is really the charm.
Very good, Donna. Thank you for the feedback. And I'd love to connect with you.
Right. And I also might have a voiceover person for you, but that's another conversation
Perfect.
another day.
Perfect.
Before we run out of time, because it is just right about 12:30, before we run out, any feedback on the visuals as far as people using animation versus eyeballs? Because I would, Donna, your stuff would be, I'm looking at you in the camera and talking versus some animation. Anybody got any feedback of what they like?
I don't
Sabine,
understand the question. I'm having a hard time hearing the question.
The question was, when you're watching the video that goes along with the content, is animation where these little people walk across the screen, it's kind of filling the space. What kind of visuals are going to be more productive, more efficient in communicating your message?
Hal, I will say, if you don't mind, that in 2021, a lot of motion and sound bed application is very, very important. And it also helps with the cognitive reinforcement of those videos. So that's why you saw a lot of movement in the video and as well as sound. Donna, did you have some feedback on that?
Yeah, you said it perfectly. I totally agree with you. I'm married to a guy who teaches this stuff, so I'm cheating a little bit here, but his thing is the adult learning model, and that's why I'm hoping to introduce you to him as well. Yeah. Because just like you said, we're looking for movement every 5 to 7 seconds, because these days you're going to lose us really fast if you don't do that. And I loved your example today to demonstrate that.
Fantastic, thank you. Great questions. Really appreciate it. Hal, if you're talking, I think you are.
Yep, we're gonna wrap up. So 5 to 7 seconds, you got to keep moving. Got it. So in that vein, we'll go ahead and change screens and let you know that final thoughts about, I'm watching an educational video. So next week, we've got a couple people coming in to talk about lead generation. It's definitely a round table. So shorter presentation and more conversation about what's working. After the July 4th break, we'll be having the small business group come back again and talk about unpivoting. I love that conversation. It's like, I did all this stuff last year, so what am I undoing? And then Kelsey will be in a few weeks. She's always got wild stories about the workplaces and stuff. So several upcoming events should be good. So Laurie, thank you so much for your time and your ideas, and as well for the others. And we look forward to having a great week. Y'all keep in touch, and let's make it a great week.
Thank you
Take care.
guys. Thanks for coming. Bye.
List.
Thank you. Hey, Hal.